the lie in the mirror.
So let me ask you something. When you turn away from the mirror, what do you see? I mean, what's that image of yourself that you carry around all day? Is it the truth? Or is it something a little more convenient?
You know, we've gotten really good at the art of avoidance. We're masters of it. We just breathe on the surface, just enough to blur the uncomfortable parts.
And our days are just filled with these tools for distraction, aren't they? A packed schedule, a podcast always in our ears, that constant, endless scroll. It's like we've built this perfect shield to protect us from, well, from silence.
We'll do almost anything to avoid taking a good, hard look at the person staring back at us. Because, let's be honest, a clear look is an honest look. And honesty, well, it can be tough. So we blur the reflection. And we do it on purpose.
But you know, sometimes that distortion, it's not our fault. Sometimes the mirror is already cracked for us, long before we even learn how to fog it up ourselves.
You can see this all over literature. In the Turkish novel Asriler, for instance, a family's own internal mirror gets absolutely shattered by the pressures of a changing world. It's the story of a family caught between the old ways and the new, and in the process, they just completely lose sight of who they are.
For the daughters in that story, the cracks came from everywhere. You had a father who was just too busy, a mother who seemed completely indifferent. The education they got was from tutors who were, well, let's just say they weren't exactly moral or intellectual giants. And then a cousin comes along and introduces them to this shallow, glittering world that's all about appearances.
So their sense of self wasn't really built from the inside out. It was just slapped together from all these broken pieces of other people's expectations and failures. The world cracks their mirror before they ever had a chance to see themselves clearly in it.
Okay, so that's when the world cracks the mirror for you. But what about when the cracks come from the inside? What happens when we're the ones who choose to show a distorted image to everyone?
Psychology actually has a name for this. It's called the persona. Think of it as the social mask we all wear. It's the character we decide to play to make a certain impression and, to hide who we really are deep down.
There's this fantastic literary example of this, a character named Ahmet İkeli from the author Mustafa Kutlu. Oh man, this guy is an absolute master of living behind his persona. So to the outside world, and even to his own family, he's this big-shot, successful businessman. The reality? His company has totally failed. He puts on this act of being a loyal, loving husband, writing these letters from abroad. But the truth is, he's basically forgotten his wife. The heartfelt letters, they stop. They get replaced by nothing but receipts and bills. He's moved on with his life, but he keeps the mask on, just letting his wife wait for a man who doesn't even exist anymore.
It's exactly what the Turkish author Necip Fazıl Kısakürek called it so simply. Aynadaki yalan, the lie in the mirror.
So, this all leads to the big question, right? Why? Why on earth do we do this?
Why would anyone prefer a broken image, a cracked reflection, a fogged-up piece of glass? Why choose that over the plain and simple truth?
Because seeing things clearly, it forces you to change. And change is hard. It's costly. To really see yourself is to see all your flaws, your screw-ups, the things you're responsible for. And once you see that stuff, you can't unsee it. It demands that you do something, that you fix what's broken. And that kind of work, it's exhausting, it's painful.
This feeling, this sense of being completely overwhelmed, actually has a name. In Turkish, it's yılgınlık. It's this deep, deep weariness, a kind of paralysis that comes from despair. You can see it on a huge scale in Mehmet Niyazi's historical novels. He writes about how the Ottoman government was so gripped by this feeling, so terrified of failing, that they just chose to do nothing. They literally let the entire state crumble around them rather than face the brutal truth of its condition.
The poet Necip Fazıl really captures the incredible weight of this self-awareness. He asks this powerful question: would it be if I shuttered the world, if I shed tears to rival Noah's flood? It's like he's asking if shutting out everything, if crying an impossible amount, would even be enough to wash it all away. The whole task just feels impossibly huge.
And so, what do? We choose the fog. We choose the lie. Because at the end of the day, living in confusion is it's easier than accepting the responsibility that comes with clarity.
So instead of looking inward, instead of facing the truth, we find something else to blame. We point a finger at the distortion itself. We blame the fog.
We blame the cracks.
We blame the darkness of the room.
But here's the thing. The fog, that's just our own breath. The cracks, they're in all the places we refuse to fix. And the light, well,
The switch has been in our hand the whole time. The mirror was never the problem. The problem isn't what we see in it. It's that, most of the time, we just refuse to look.